Hey guys, it's Kevin from News Rocky. Yes, News Rocky, this show that's sweeping the nation each and every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. from the Forward TV network. We just launched the Forward TV network yesterday, and I'm going to tell you on March 1st what excitement we have around this studio. Today, I'm very excited about having these guests come on because we're going to be talking with these folks about what's going on across the country in the space of challenging the legal systems that have in place between the judicial system at courthouses across the country, the police and law enforcement on the streets, and basically centered around the movement that's been taking place across this country with challenging the authority. I think that obviously anyone that watches News Rocky, you know where my position is. News Rocky is a show that has a concept. We back the blue, but we also back the opportunity for everyone to be heard. We respect every person's conversation here on the News Rocky show. So today, we're going to enjoy this conversation from some folks right here in Connecticut. Our friend Tim from Tyrant Slayer. We actually had Tim on earlier this year. We also have Joe Cool out of Chicago and Rogue Nation out of Florida. They're going to come on and explain what exactly their platform is, what they're out to really work for, what their energy is that drives them each and every day in this space. So guys, make sure you stay in the ring. This is going to be a really, really good conversation on News Rocky. We'll see you in a moment back in the ring. Hey guys, it's Kevin on News Rocky again, and here we are, like I said, getting ready to get in the ring with three of our friends across the country. One here in Connecticut, Tim, who we'll bring on in a moment, Joe Cool out of Chicago, and we also have Rogue Nation out of Florida. We're going to hear from these fellows on what their actually platform is, what they do each and every day. They are creators of content. They are out there creating a conversation, certainly somewhat, some would call agitating the authorities. But I look at it as if there's an opportunity for us to have a conversation. What motivates someone to go out and put a camera on? What motivates someone to go out and challenge the authority? We're going to hear this from these three fellas today on the News Rocky show. So let's go right to Tim, Tyrant Slayer Studios right here in Connecticut. And you were on with us earlier last month. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing very well today. Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you so much. So why don't we set this up before we bring on Joe Cool and Rogue Nation. We had you on, and you were nothing but a gentleman, explaining your position about what drives you in this space. Talk a little bit about that, and then try to connect with Joe Cool and Rogue Nation as we bring them on.
Well, the main drive, the main focus of what we do as an activist community, what I do each and every day alongside of Joe Cool out of Chicago and Mr. Rogue Nation out of Florida and many others around the country. Our focus is basically our rights and making people aware of our rights, our constitutional rights, our civil rights, what our liberties, allow us to do, and where our restrictions are, where the restrictions on our public servants are. And basically, it's never our intention to go out and agitate anyone in our communities, in our cities, in our towns, in our states, in our local law enforcement. But being on the scene in a variety of different law enforcement engagements involving citizens of all walks of life, we often are portrayed as agitators, and we're simply just trying to help and to educate both sides of this equation. It's not just about empowering people and sticking it to police. It's more or less about educating the people and educating the police as well, educating our public servants so that we can all have a better, safer, less intrusive life, so that we can live in pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness without being obstructed by corruptive powers so often.
So Tim, one of the things you shared with me the first time I had you on, you audit, right? And that's how you perceive this kind of, sort of role that you guys are playing. You're auditors of justice in a sense. You claim that you're out making sure that the laws of the land are being enforced correctly. And so I want to do this. Can you please introduce Joe Cool as well as Rogue Nation so we can actually bring them on?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. Let's start with Joe Cool. He is a very strong advocate for freedom and for civil rights. And he carries a very strong message that resonates with people from all walks of life around the country. And he is not afraid to put himself at risk and possibly be illegally detained and arrested to create a platform to educate people on. Joe Cool is very inspiring, and he's very strong. He's a very passionate man, and he will stand up and fight against any injustice that's being hoisted upon anybody for any reason. He will be there to help fight and expose any wrongdoings or any abuses of power, just like I will. And Rogue Nation is essentially the pioneer of Activism News Network. The three of us, along with 19 other members, are active members in Activism News Network, and we drum up a heck of a portfolio of video and content and education every month. And we're out there plugging away every day. Rogue Nation is very knowledgeable. He's surrounded himself with very intelligent people. He's got some great lawyers and a great community behind him, and he's been able to help create the unity that we all want to see. He's helped bring people together and create real results in the communities in which he is operating. And he's all over the country, from Florida to Texas to, California or Arizona or wherever it may be. He is traveling, and he is making a very big dent in the problems that we are all facing.
So hearing
citizens.
hearing that intro to both these guys, Tim, you're really, I should bring you on the show. You're a better speaker than me. But I want to go. We'll get to Rogue Nation in a minute. I want to go right to Joe Cool in Chicago. Joe Cool, can you hear me?
I absolutely can. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on to the show today from Chicago. How is it? Is it cold out there today? It's freezing out here in the East Coast.
Yeah, it's not horrible. We got sun out in 30s, I think, is where we are. That's not horrible for Chicago. I'm not complaining, man.
Yeah, you guys, that's like summertime for you guys out there.
It is. It's hoodie weather.
Joe Cool, tell me a little bit about you. I mean, you're in this, and I did get a chance to see some of your videos, and I got to tell you, as a former person who wore a badge and a uniform, I kind of flipped back into my mode of where I was, and I tried to think about how it would be to be that officer. I think one of the scenes was where a patrolman was in the distance between a traffic stop and you were kind of just going, doing your thing. Talk a little bit about what your passion is and why you're in this space fighting for what you call as justice.
I can never be as eloquent as you and TS were. You guys are doing very well. Rocky, I think your name is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I consider myself an activist. You got some interesting guys up here, because the agitation thing that you said, you have guys up here who we're not about the agitation. However, a lot of us who do this, in my opinion, do go out to agitate for clicks and views. But the guys you got here are sincere activists. I do this shit, and I've done it for over a year and a half out of my pocket. I film. I just want to protect and make sure that the cops are not harassing the regular citizens. That's primarily. But secondarily, I'm trying to build bridges. I'm trying to learn. And I'm motivated. I'm very motivated because I sat up. And for all this time, they've been going in my pockets and searching us and just treating us shitty. And I didn't know anything about these rights that I have until I got popped. And I had to sit on house arrest for 7 months. And then I saw cats like Rogue and TS. And I knew then, first of all, I was angry because I felt like I'd been tricked and had been abused all this time. I thought they had the powers. They were gods. And then I learned some of my rights, and I fight and battle these guys every day. I don't know if I'm a cop watcher per se, because by definition, they probably don't say anything. They just watch and film. I don't know if I'm an auditor because they go to stationary places, buildings, and do their thing. I am an activist, however. I am an activist, and I've been one since a child. And I can't wait to to talk about that pro-cop shit, but I'll give Rogue the floor.
There you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. And Rogue, I want to say you're down in Florida. You're the lucky guy right here, because you're probably down there about, 70, 80 degrees today?
Yeah, that's correct. It's pretty warm. I got my windows down. I got my AC running in the house.
Well, keep on bragging. We're all freezing everywhere else. Thanks a lot, brother. So, as Tim introduced you into this, you're sort of the. It sounds like you've kind of got some of the things moving here with this platform. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, who are you? Why did you get into this space, and what motivates you to keep doing this every day?
Well, I'm just a guy like any other guy on the street that you might meet. I took time out of my life specifically to learn about the law and to learn about rights and how society operates and such like that. Along the same lines as Joe, I was looking for a way to get stuff done when I came across people like Jeff Gray and Joel Chandler down here in Florida, who were making public record requests. They were doing civil rights investigations all on their own. And so that prompted me, because from my studying of the law and society, it left me a lot of questions that needed answered from the government. And anybody that has tried to go to the government to get answers knows just how hard that, actually is. So when I saw these guys with cameras and I saw that they were getting results, I figured that this would be the best means in order to get those questions answered and to get some kind of level playing field for all Americans. I'm a big supporter of if this is a nation of laws and all men are subject to the law, then let's make it that way. Because what we have now is we have a nation of laws that only, some people have to obey, and other people's, they say they have to obey them. But really, when it comes to qualified immunity and when it comes to even when they get arrested, the disparity between sentencing of a regular citizen for that crime and someone that's worked for the public, be it an officer, be it a congressman, be it a city clerk, the disparities in sentencing and stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And that right there is what's creating the divide. You know what I mean? And it's nothing that you can hide or brush up under a rug. I'll give you an example. A lady left her kid in the car by accident. Kid died. She got life. An officer left his kid in the car. Kid died. Oh, it was an accident. He's still a cop. No crime, no charge, no time. People see that, and then they wonder, who's fooling who? Who's the servant and who's the master? Because the story I got was that we're the master and these guys are the servants. That's why they're called the public servant.
Amen.
So when we're a nation of laws and the master obeys all the laws or goes to jail and the servant doesn't, then obviously we've been lied to somewhere. There needs to be some kind of reconciliation here with this story because it ain't matching up.
Okay, Rogue Nation. So that was a pretty good intro to your passion, and appreciate the story. And again, I'm a little jealous you're warm down there. And I want to go back to Joe Cool in Chicago. I want to ask you, Joe. You said you started this kind of activism platform about a year ago. What were you doing prior to that? And did you have, if you don't mind sharing, because we want to be, throw it out there, did you have bad experiences with law enforcement in your life that kind of inspired you to sort of get into this challenge?
I've had nothing but. I've sold drugs my entire life, and I've done activism. I've been all over the country. I was one of the top 20 activists in the country, labeled so on 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, and whoever had channels at that time. Mm-hmm. But I've sold drugs all my fucking life, and I don't believe I've ever been caught square. But I've had them put 3 or 4 cases on me. That's what I was doing before I got it.
What's your longest time? What was your longest bid, Joe?
About 3 months in the county. I've never been down.
So
I've never been to the pen.
You've avoided the real deal, sort of Holyfield getting a hard time, but you've been in the game. You said in the streets of Chicago. Were you a gang member or a gang banger or however you want to call it?
I joined when I was 10 years old. I joined there with 13 four corner hustlers around here. I'm sorry, they were 12. I was 13. Now there are thousands.
And no kidding. Was that what was that? Was it a local gang or was it a street gang or what?
Vice Lords. You probably heard of Vice Lords.
All day. I used to interview Vice Lords out here in the East Coast in prison, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Straight up.
All
That's
right.
crazy. There you go. So you were one of the founding members, you're saying?
I was there early. The founding members are people that I know. The sect that came here, which is now the heart of the Four Corner Hustler, Vice Lord Nation. The sect that came here, I was the 13th member. The leadership had been doing other things in other places. I was one of the founding original motherfuckers in this Four Corner Hustler shit, though. I'm one of the old school guys, and I'm well plugged, and I'm well known. When I go to jail, it's my job to verify the other gang members because I'm popular.
You do okay, so you're the OG, and I get it. I'm going to treat you with respect. Don't want you coming here and shanking me out in Connecticut. Tim, I want to ask you a question. Tim, with regards to you, and just so the listeners know of News Rocky, we learned about your story before. Again, Tyrant Slayer Studios, you put out this content. What inspired you directly? Did you have a run-in with the law enforcement or the legal system that inspired you to go into this this mode?
I absolutely did. I felt I was very unjustly treated, and my rights were absolutely violated. I was essentially illegally incarcerated on false charges and put away in the hole for about a month. Nothing too serious, nothing too crazy, but it cost me thousands of dollars, an incredible job opportunity, a flight to Florida. I think I was even slated to receive my second and third degree honors for the Knights of Columbus on that fine Sunday. But I was illegally arrested in Farmington, Connecticut on Route 4 at the Suburban Park in 2001 or 2002. And I carried a lot of anger with me for a very long time towards law enforcement as a result of that engagement. And eventually that energy burnt itself out. I never actually put it towards anything until much later in life, until about the last year or so. When I stumbled across these great activists and these inspiring American citizens like Rogue Nation here and Joe Cool and Rights Crispy and SGV News and Disorderly Product News and all of the guys. I've learned a lot from these folks, and I still had that anger, pent down and burnt down inside me. I just conjured it back up, and I've really channeled it into something tremendously productive here. And I've been able to find great success in doing that.
Interesting story, Rogue. Now I'm going to go back to Rogue Nation. I want to ask you down in Florida there, not the same question, but I want to ask you specifically, do you have law enforcement friends? Do you have people in law enforcement that you have respect for? Or is it just basically a blanket of anyone that wears a badge or, in authority?
No, I absolutely have friends in law enforcement, and actually a lot of the tips I get are from people inside law enforcement because, not everybody in a profession is bad. Okay. But I flip that because you guys say you back the blue. Uh-huh. And let me say something on that. I don't think that all cops are bad, but I don't believe that because you put on a badge that you're good. You know what I mean?
Understood.
I don't give respect to a man because of a job that he has chosen voluntarily to enter into. Okay. I don't see a doctor walk by on the street and be like, oh man, I got to respect that guy, this and this and this and this. Every man comes to me, he gets the same level of respect until he doesn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I think when you see that, and I just think
I don't automatically respect somebody, but I automatically I automatically don't disrespect somebody either.
I mean, with regards to that, Rogue Nation, just in response, when I say I back the blue, it's hard for me not to. With 21 years of experience, I put a uniform on every day. I actually chase fugitives out here in Connecticut for the Department of Corrections. I've been involved with law enforcement as a family and friends, and it's a community to me. So I understand what you're saying, but it's also understandable, for people like myself. It's pretty easy for us to defend what we believe is on the right side of the discussion. Now, I want to say, I want to go to Joe Cool on this one. This past year, we went through an experience, not just with COVID that broke out across this nation and world. We had the George Floyd issue that took place. Did this George Floyd issue explode sort of on the streets, this energy of going and pushing back on law enforcement, in your opinion, Joe Cool in Chicago?
I hate to be the unpopular dude, but at that time, when that happened, I was angry. I went to like 3 protests a day. I was there in Wisconsin when the guy shot the 3 people. I had just left 10 minutes ago, talking to one of the 3 people that he left. I was there when the first window was broken behind that shit in downtown Chicago. I was at the protest. The reason it was broken is because we were protesting normally, and the police came and split us and separated and chased us off, and people got angry. Yes, the George Floyd shit sparked a ton. And I'm saying I'm a shitty guy because I want more of that. I don't want motherfucking, niggas dying of George Floyd stuff, people dying like that. But until it affects them, the COVID stuff, where they don't get a job, where they can't go to work, until it affects people personally or someone and love, people remain inactive. And things like this, it makes it hit home. So I'm of the opinion, I want more drama. I want more bullshit because I want this to be over. Don't pacify me. Don't play with me. Don't tell me shit's going to be fine, because it's not. We got to revamp this whole fucking thing. Like Rogue was just talking about. These cops are held unaccountable. You're guys, that boys in blue, black and blue line shit. Fuck that shit, Rocky. Every day them niggas check in the morning, and they hurt people. And they lock people up for nonviolent crimes. Ain't no gang member ever snatched me off the street and put me in a fucking basement for 3 months. These guys are brutal.
So what you're saying, no, good. Listen, we want to talk the real deal, and I appreciate your perspective. I'm not here for an argument. I'm gonna feel like I feel, and I'm gonna respect how you feel, right? So that's how we get this done, in my opinion. And I appreciate your candor. The question really did focus on, we had the George Floyd issue that took place. Obviously, clearly, I think there's not a soul on earth, I hope that there's not, that saw that as a good move by any law enforcement. I've been trained. In fact, when I started in Department of Corrections in 1992 in Connecticut, we were trained for chokeholds. I'm sure anyone that's engaged with law enforcement back in 15, 20 years ago, it was on. You didn't have any rules back then. The rules today of engagement are different. But let me skip to this, Joe. Before I go back to Tim, I want to ask you something specific. You sort of said you don't want this to end. So what is it that you're actually, if you don't want it to end, are you just you're a warrior and you're going to fight till you end, or would you fight actually to have a goal of ending this divide between us?
It must end, which is why I love TS so much and why I'm here with you. I don't like media and all of that shit. I do not. Mm-hmm. But why I came here is because he told me that, you were a cop supporter, this and that. Undoubtedly, you're an asset. You're an asset, right? TS, some of my friends, and we disagree 100%. But in order for us to accomplish anything, it's going to take numbers. Both sides. Well, if we stay at a stalemate, us versus them, we're going to be like these politicians and nothing will ever be accomplished. I must win your hearts. I must learn why you think the way you do. And I must get you to come over and us agree on some things. We're going to agree on more than we disagree anyway. Mm-hmm. I need you to agree on some things and help me get some things accomplished. So I'm very interested in mending fences. When I'm out here with the cops, bro, I'm out here communicating. 8 out of 10 of my interactions with cops, I don't even film. Because I need to build bridges, and they love me. They respect me. At least if they don't love me, they certainly respect me and back me and tell me I'm doing the right thing. I got more cop friends than I care to fucking admit. I need the fucking Republicans. I need the cops. I need everybody. White folks, they use that racial divide. I need everybody. My opposition, my gang opposition. I need to join forces with all of us because I need this to happen, and I will die trying. I am that fighter, man. I don't give a fuck if I win or not. I got to get up and fight every fucking day, and I'm down.
I definitely listen, Joe. I got to tell you, I hear your passion, your energy. I know it's no joke. This is the real deal, and I appreciate your candor. I want to go to Tim quick on kind of continuing this conversation. Tim, you sort of you did help get this group together. I appreciate that very much. Your passion here in Connecticut has been moving forward. How does someone, and maybe so, how do people fund such programs? I mean, you guys just talked about it, and each one of you can kind of explain. This is coming out of your own pockets. How are you guys funding these projects?
You said it. It literally comes out of our own pockets. We have a very supportive, very large community. I mean, it's not a perfect community, but we do have a very large online presence on YouTube and on social media. And with the launch of Activism News Network, which is a paid subscription service, it's $3.99 a month. There is an alternative revenue stream coming in now, and we have in our unity collectivized that revenue, and we are pooling that revenue together for the purposes of pulling records, acquiring body cam footage. If one of our guys is illegally incarcerated, we'll have the immediate means to get him out and make sure he gets home to his family, instead of being kept from his family and stuff for a night. But yeah. On our channels, on our YouTube channels, personally, we are all personally invested in this, and it all comes right out of our pocket. All of our video equipment, all of our computer equipment, all of our editing equipment, our phones, you name it. It all costs money. It costs money to travel. Everything we do costs money. And it's a very worthwhile endeavor, given the fruit that could potentially lie at the end of this tunnel, should we be able to mend these fences in these chores like we are engaged in today. We are here to create bridges and to educate people. We are not agitators, and we are not activists in the sense that the negative stigma that's associated with the term comes with. We're just regular, everyday American citizens fighting for our own rights and trying to make our fellow citizens, neighbors, friends, family, and strangers aware of their rights as well, so that we can fight together and ultimately create a better country and a better future for all of our children.
Thank you, Tim. And I want to go to Rogue Nation down in Florida again. I'm going to stay with some of the line of questioning. It was brought up by Joe Cool, the political part of the world we live in today. Politics plays a really, really big role in a lot of the noise we hear. Actually creates, I think, more divide. I'm a former politician. I can tell you I was behind the curtain up here in Connecticut, and I can tell you how dirty and corrupt all sides of politics are. Rogue Nation down there in Florida, do you think that the political side of things amplify this divide here and don't help resolving some of these issues that you're fighting against?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, when it comes down to it, the police are nothing more than the enforcement arm of the politicians. There's something I like to point out, and if you watch my videos, and you said you were former law enforcement, I don't know if that means you were on the street answering calls, but if you were, what you'll tend to notice in my videos, what I like to point out is whenever I'm going to a public building, be it City Hall or the Public Works Department or the post office even, whenever I go to these public buildings and these people, the public servants want me trespassed or want me out of there and they call the police, the responses that not only me, but Joe and TSS, the responses that we get are just incredible. I mean, never seen before on a civilian scale. If you're at home and you come home and you found someone broke into your house and you make that call, you're not going to get 5 or 6 officers there in 10 minutes. It's just not going to happen, There's specifically one that I want to point out that you should definitely watch. It's called When a Good Cop Goes Bad. It was filmed in Panama City Beach. I was in the City Hall. Now, the officers there knew that I was legally allowed to be there, okay? No problem with me being there. But because the people that worked there felt uncomfortable, I got a corporal and a sergeant to chaperone me while I was just standing there, literally just standing there with my camera. And these guys were right on me, one on each side of me, belittling me, harassing me, trying to get me to make a move. And I thought to myself now, if I was standing just outside of that building on the corner and some citizens had walked by and they saw me with my camera and they felt uncomfortable, I was thinking, would these two cops stand on the sidewalk next to me for 20 minutes harassing me because some civilian walking by felt uncomfortable that I was recording? And unless somebody is light of mind, they're going to realize that this would never, ever be a possibility except in some kind of alternate universe. There's a strange love connection going on with the police and our public servants. Okay, I don't know if it's behind closed doors or whatever, but if you're a public servant and you call the police, you're going to get a major response and you're going to get it right on the dot.
Do you think that love affair, just Rogue Nation, if I can ask Rogue Nation for your comments there, do you think that love affair that you call out is specifically on one side of the aisle or the other? Is it conservative Republicans loving law enforcement, or is it the Democrat liberals as well, in your opinion?
No, in this instance, it doesn't matter. When they call the police, when the person at City Hall calls the police don't ask them if they're Democrat or Republican. They're going to send 6 cars in 10 minutes regardless of what party you are. Mm-hmm. All right? Now, as far as the government, the Democrats and Republicans, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think we're seeing much difference. I mean, these guys are still eating at the same country clubs. They're still playing golf together, and I tell people it's hard to see the problems of the common man as you speed by in your limo. And I, a lot of people believe the left-right thing going on in the country, but I'm not one of them. I'm here with government is government. No matter what letter you put behind the name, your government. Even if you're a libertarian only wants his version of government. Mm-hmm. Okay? So
there it is. Yep.
It's government. Okay?
Amen, Rogue. Amen.
And again, the love affair is with their protectors, the law enforcement. So you got these guys up here and they write the laws and they exclude themselves from the law. And then they have these guys here that protect them. And that's why qualified immunity was put into play. Because these guys realize that these guys ain't going to protect them if during that course of protecting them, they make a mistake and they go to jail. Okay? So that's what that is. The police are the enforcement arm for guys like us that just happen to get into power and write some laws that they exempt themselves from, and they realize people are going to be pissed about it. And
Bro, you said 3 times, and I've been keeping quiet because I know the rules. But
go ahead there, Joe. You got it.
There's
good points.
Saying the first sign of an occupying force is they refuse to obey the same laws that they enforce. And that is exactly what you said 3 times. The laws apply differently or not at all to them. They are not here to help us, to assist us. They are here to keep the riffraff down, exactly like you're saying. We're the riffraff, and those with power connections, and certainly any government freaking job. You can be a security job and you feel that connection for some reason with law enforcement, and they feel it with you. And anybody who's not down with that fucking that group of people and that a group think, they are in jeopardy. It suddenly becomes a police job to hurt you. I
got to tell you, Rogue Nation, you said you touched on the immunity piece, the qualified immunity. We had that being debated here in the state of Connecticut. I strongly stood against it. And again, it's my background. I mean, I'm just, we're being honest, having an honest conversation here because of my position, and I'm respecting yours. But I want to go back to Joe Cool on the political conversation. How much politics plays into this entire narrative created? Do you think the Democrats, liberals, are fighting for exactly what you're fighting for, or do you think it really doesn't matter, as Rogue Nation pointed out?
All right. First of all, I'm not a child, right? Anybody, in my opinion, I don't want to be too harsh, that believes that Dem versus Republican shit is blind. I want to call them a harsher name, but they don't see. The entire system is set up. First of all, these people work hand in hand together, whether they know it or not. An entire system is set up that no good do-gooder can go in there and make a fucking change, right? He has to take that same slot He has to form certain bonds and make deals. And the higher you get, you certainly are not allowed your opinion. You think every damn Democrat up there believes that when these votes are always 50-51? That's insane. Anyone who believes that shit is insane. All these guys go lockstep and believe that bullshit. So I'm a fan of neither Democrat nor Republican nor politician nor cop.
So Joe, you're in Chicago, and some of the highest shootings take place in Chicago. Talk a little bit about that going on. I mean, you're right in the middle of it, and I'm respecting you. I want to hear your version of what's going on. And the police are out there fighting, I assume, against these real criminals that are out there shooting with guns and killing people. What's your opinion of that there in Chicago?
All right. First of all, the first part of your question, I'm gonna show you where I am. I guess you can see my picture. Where I am right now is one of the deadliest corners in Chicago's weed spot. I'm out here smoking.
Okay, you went into the dispensary?
No, it's not the legal weed spot.
Oh, this is, you're telling me, you're okay, you're, all right, very cool, very good, we're good.
Okay.
We won't snitch on you, I won't subscribe to it, brother.
But that corner is so deadly, it deserves, it gets a 24-hour police presence every time they've left, even if it's for a short amount of time. People get murdered up here. So yes, there's a lot of killing and violence. And if that's what the police were only addressing and shit, we'd probably all be down with helping them out and having them do their job. But we know that's not the case, right? Because when the police pull in behind us, unless you're down with that group Roe was talking about somehow, your heart sinks. You don't think I feel safe because the cop is around. They are there to take your money and do all these other things. So if they save a fucking baby from a burning building on Monday, great. But fucking Sunday and Tuesday, that motherfucker's going to be out here backing his buddies, taking money from me and doing all this bullshit. So there is no good cop. The same where there is no good person. There's no such thing.
I appreciate your candor, and especially with the spot you're in. And just relax, enjoy smoking your productive stuff there. I'm a big supporter of legalizing marijuana as a Republican.
Man, I heard that about you.
So, Tim, I want to go to you. Tim, what do you think about the Second Amendment rights facing the challenges that face citizens of America here? Just your opinion of the Second Amendment and what's your belief in it?
Well, I love the Second Amendment. I love all of the amendments. The right to bear arms is always going to remain near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure any God-fearing, loving American's heart. I think it's terrifying what we see coming down the pike, the proposed insurance policy for these guns and things of that nature, the exuberant costs, the entire process of being fingerprinted to be able to exercise your already God-given inalienable right to bear and keep arms, to me is asinine. Like I have a serious issue with having to give up fingerprints, go see the chief of police, get a background check done. Come and tell me why you want a gun. Tell me who you are, where you're from. Pay me $90. Then go see that guy and pay him $90. And then when you're done doing that, wait at home until you get this thing in the mail to where you'll have to send out another $90. Then come back for another meeting. And in the middle of all of this COVID nonsense, it's extremely difficult. It's a painstaking process to renew your concealed and carry permit, which as far as I'm concerned, you don't even need, because you have the Second Amendment right. No state can tell you what rights you can exercise and what rights you can't, as far as I'm concerned, but I'm no lawyer.
Joe, cool. I want to ask you the same question. I don't know if you carry a gun legally. I don't know if you carry a gun illegally. I'm not asking that. Do you support the Second Amendment rights for people to legally bear arms in America?
Listen, man, when everyone that carries guns, man, motherfuckers behave. Aside from the reason it was written in, we are victims here. Any motherfucker with a gun knows he can get away with it. He's a god. That don't happen in Texas. I need every motherfucker armed. I need every motherfucker armed, Joe. And I'm with TS. Don't you fucking ask me no questions. I ain't got to jump through hoops. Fucking sign a piece of document, explain some shit to you. Nigga, that's given to me by fucking God. Fuck what you talking about. And I do not want to fucking I do not want to have to ask your permission and explain something to you like you're my fucking dad. That's insane. I'm with you, TS.
Rogue, we're going to get to you in a second here, but Tim, you did not let me down. You told me Joe Cool was going to deliver with a certain flavor of language, man. I appreciate what you're laying down.
I love Joe Cool. We love the community loves Joe Cool. He is a hell of a character. He's got a tremendous level of depth, and he is a very passionate
Listen,
man.
we all have our own paths, and I respect everybody's. I appreciate the honesty. Rogue Nation, I want to go to you on the Second Amendment rights. Down in Florida, some of the toughest laws protecting folks with guns. In fact, we've seen over the years actually shootings take place down in Florida where actually people were able to stop maybe a robbery or detain someone. Some tragic things, obviously, when we look back in the history of Florida. What's your feelings on the Second Amendment, and do you think that that is something you definitely want the government to stay out of your way?
Yeah, I'm all for personal rights as far as the right to defend yourself. Absolutely. I think where a lot of people get confused is because they equate our civil rights to natural rights. And because the government didn't teach us the difference, a lot of people don't understand the restrictions imposed on the Second Amendment. And because of that, again, because of the lack of education that the government has intentionally left out of our education, we have people that they don't understand what's going on. And a lot of Americans today, when they see the government doing stuff, whether it be on immigration or this or that or taxes, they don't understand. And a lot of people will be like, oh man, that's unconstitutional. But here today on this program, I'd like to submit a theory. And that is, whenever we think something is unconstitutional, perhaps we should just look at it a different way. Perhaps it's constitutional, and perhaps the government has lied about what the Constitution is and how it applies to regular citizens. Because I don't see a lot of people thinking along those lines, and really with the government that has lied about everything. I mean, literally everything from GDP to inflation numbers to, anything you could put your little finger on, the government has lied some way, shape, or form. To believe that they've lied about everything except the Constitution
is laughable.
It's kind of naive, don't we think?
No, listen, we just found a common ground amongst things right here in this segment of this show. And again, guys, you're listening to three very interesting gentlemen throughout the country. We have the obviously Tim, who's been on the show here with Tyrant Slayer Studios. We got Joe Cool out of Chicago sharing his story, and Rogue Nation sharing their stories of their activism and their movement of sort of challenging these government agencies as they, operators of the law here throughout the country. And I do agree on this. The Constitution is an interpretation by any political official, and then it is enforced as it goes down. And I got to tell you that one of the greatest challenges... I got to tell you, well, I think that was a cheer from my friend Joe there, but it is an interpretation, and quite often we see this being utilized as campaign promises. And Joe, since you made the noise, I'm going to go back to you. In the city of Chicago, you have a very interesting mayor. She's been very much under a lot of stress. I want to ask you, because fundamentally, I think everyone, and I talked to Tim about this, and Rogue will hear after I talk to Joe, this should be about the next generation for our kids, right? I mean, if you're fighting for anything, it should be the next generation. How do you feel the city of Chicago, and particularly the mayor, is taking on these challenges, Joe, that you're out there fighting against and getting kids back to school as much as anything is another question I want to hear an answer from you.
I think she has totally excluded them, haven't even thought about them. None of this shit that she does, in my opinion, is about the kids. She came in there on the platform. She was going to change and do all these things, man. But she got in there. I've never seen someone become so politically entrenched in so short of a time. Every time she puts out a fucking ordinance or something, me and DPN, we go break that shit day one. Any rule, we've audited her house twice.
Does the mayor know you personally, Joe?
She does not, but all of her guys do it. I mean, every fucking one of them. I don't think she does, but her
Okay.
next door neighbor does.
Yeah.
All of her top cops do, and they don't like me. Oh, I got stories about that shit,
Well,
bro.
that's probably for another time, Joe Cool. But Rogue Nation, I sort of want to go on to you, and I want to ask you, where's your vision of your platform? Where do you think it's going to be, let's say, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years down the road? What are you going to build, and how are you going to expand your connections across the country?
Well, the good news is, and I don't want to say it's good news because it's actually sad and repulsive and just heartbreaking news. But the news is that the government builds my platform. Government is out there violating someone's rights. They're kicking out too little Social Security by messing with the inflation numbers and saying that there's no cost of living increase. I mean, there's just so many ways, and I get stories every single day. And I kid you not, every single day I get stories about government corruption. And again, some of these are from the government themselves. All right. So it's not like it's a conspiracy guy sitting in his underwear in his basement saying, oh, I think there's chemtrails up above. I'm getting calls from county commissioners. Literally, I'm getting calls from county commissioners telling me that the sheriff is the one bringing the drugs into the county. Okay, these are the calls that I'm getting. All right. So we know it's real and we know it's out there. And so my vision for my platform, not the Rogue Nation platform, but for the Activism News Network platform, is to have it so that we have the juice. When we have enough subscribers to our channel, we'll have the juice to send 4, 5, 6, 7 of us guys to an area, and we'll audit them. We'll put cameras on every corner. We'll hire private investigators to follow these guys around.
Right.
We'll pull every public record they got. We'll hire forensic accountants. I mean, Activism News Net, and I pray and I hope that the government is praying that we don't get the support, because if we do get the support, there'll be a level of accountability on our government officials that has never been seen here in America before.
Amen.
And that is something that I will guarantee with my life. I'm already basically doing it with $2. If I get subscribers that I have enough subscribers that I could fly out 3 or 4 of my boys, we could stay there for a week and we could put the pressure on.
Yeah, buddy.
You can believe you're going to see some changes. You're going to see a lot of changes.
So
that's what I'm about.
Rocky, what do you think about this? What do you think about these ideas? Is this something that you're down your back with? I'm curious about you, bro.
So here we go. We got Joe Cool. Of course, we knew it was going to be him to flip the script on News Rocky and start interviewing me. Thanks, Joe, for the question. Let me say it like this. I respect what you guys are doing, 100%. I've grown, getting to know Tim and sort of talking to him. I understand what he's talking about. I still am not. I'm not over the threshold. Let me be quite honest with you. I'm still a believer in the system. I was a part of the system, Joe. I mean, it's hard for me to turn my back on what I raised my family on, and I didn't. You know what I mean? I'm being honest. It's, hey man, you asked me, I'm telling you. But you know what? At the end of the day, Joe, I think you'll appreciate this. I'm always going to be down for the conversation, and this platform, this show. I mean, yesterday, I've had Alex Jones on my show. Everyone wants to silence Alex Jones. I've had Stormy Daniels on my show. I'm a conservative Republican, and we have you guys. I've reached the pinnacle. I know I keep climbing the mountain with you three. So, but my point to that is, I'm about talking to people and sharing the story. And you know what? Regardless of what I might think, it's about how you can start convincing people who are your constituents, your people on your platform.
Yes.
So I'm going to support you in that effort. Tim, I want to say thank you for today. I want to go through the lineup one more time. I want you guys to announce, or at least let News Rocky people know where they can find your platform. Direct them to that right now, Tim. We'll go from you to Rogue, and we'll finish with Joe Cool because he's just so cool. Go ahead, Tim.
Thank you so much, News Rocky, for having us today. You can find my work on YouTube by searching Tyrant Slayer Studios. You can find our Facebook fan page and regularly updated kind of blog, if you will, at Worthy Son of Liberty on Facebook. If you throw at Worthy Son of Liberty up in the search field, you'll find me there. I'm also available on Twitter And on Instagram, those accounts are kind of slow moving right now. And I do have a web domain that's up and coming. It's www.tyrantslayerstudios.com. If you have a story and you'd like to reach out to me and you're in the Connecticut area and you'd like to report on some corruption or some unlawful activities on behalf of your public servants, please feel free to reach out and email me at studioadmin@tyrantslayerstudios.com.
Perfect. Rogue, why don't you go ahead and roll out your contact information for the viewers, please?
Excellent. All right. Well, you can find me on YouTube under Rogue Nation Audits. And you can find all of us and 19 more great activists from all across the country on Roku under Activism News Network. And you can find us on your desktop under activismnewsnetwork.com.
That's it. Well, appreciate that. Joe Cool, we're going to go to you last. Where can people find you if they want you? I'm sure you must get a lot of requests for public speaking events. Where can they find you at, Joe?
I'm on YouTube. I have no other social media or anything, but I'm super popular. You type in Joe Cool on YouTube, that you'll see me. And ANN, I don't advertise anywhere. I'm telling you, you're going to have to type in fucking Joe Cool and go to Activism News Network. And that's, as far as I know, the only place you're going to find me. And it's worth your fucking time. I swear it is, bro.
Very good. All right. Well, I want to thank the panelists today for their honest opinions and their positions on this this battle they wage against what they believe is justice for all. I appreciate their honesty. Again, like I said to Joe Cool, I'm not quite there just yet. I don't think I ever will be, but what I am definitely interested in is sharing the story. And so, as we said, News Rocky, this whole platform, we bring it to you Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. You can watch it right here on the Forward TV network. And we want to keep on having this conversation. So I'm going to throw it out to you three. This is just the first of a many-part series. I want to keep continuing this conversation. So if you're all very much, if you can go through Tim, we can coordinate. And also, please, guys, send some videos to Tim. I want Tim to send those videos to me. I want to get these videos up so we can start to create some more conversations about your active work throughout the country.
Rocky, I was thinking the same thing. Rogue has a video where he evacuated the DMV. I wasn't going to let you leave without saying you should at some point show that vid and we should talk about it. So me and you are definitely on the same vibe.
100%. And, you know, again, I'm going to wrap it up here because we got to end the show to get to the next one. But I will say thank you guys for coming on today. I appreciate your honesty. Again, we're not, you know, there's a bridge. And one thing that was said here on the News Rocky show, and I believe it was Joe Cool or Rogue, and even Tim said it as well, we all can disagree to agree, or we can agree to disagree, rather. There's 6 out of 10s. That's the rule I live by. I've lived by it my entire life. If I can find 6 out of 10 reasons, I'm on the same page. Doesn't mean we're have the same goals or same, you know, sort of objective at the end of the day, but we can cohabitate together as a society, and I think that's what we need to do. News Rocky gets in the ring each and every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m., bringing you what I hope is some stimulating content. Guys, tune in tomorrow to News Rocky. We'll definitely be bringing you more inspiring stories like this. And guys, once again, just appreciate you, Tim, Joe Cool, and Rogue Nation for this pleasure and this interview here with News Rocky. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the ring tomorrow.